Everybody for coming today. I hope this doesn't suck too bad, but we'll get going.
Who's your favorite account?
My favorite account manager is over there getting some pizza right now. So
it's not Mark Crosby. I didn't realize Mark was an account manager. You got the motive, Mark.
So my plan for today was to take about 20-25 minutes and talk. I'm hoping that this is interactive and that you guys feel free to ask questions as we go. At the end, I'm hoping to have some brave soul volunteer to have us kind of walk through their profile and talk about the things that we talk about this. And I'm not going to like rip apart anybody's profile or anything, but we'll kind of talk about some of the stuff and just make some suggestions. Just so everybody's aware, I attended a conference called Impact Summit in October, and so this is the brown bag from that. A lot of the information that I'm sharing today comes from a guy named Josh Steimel, who is from influencerinc.co. So if you want more information on this, that Influencer Inc., all they do is LinkedIn consultancy. Like they've built a whole company around that. So so who here? I'm assuming everybody here has a LinkedIn profile, right? How many of you have like felt it was useful? Okay, good. I must be the only one that didn't know what I was doing, because I found this all really, really interesting and really helpful to me. When I started with LinkedIn, you know, I got on there and I created my profile, and I basically uploaded my current resume and kind of left it alone. So it sat there, and I've changed the profile picture a couple of times over the last 15 years and added a little bit of new information every 2 or 3 years, and that's kind of where I've left LinkedIn. When somebody sends me a connection request, I'll connect with them, maybe look at what they're doing, and that's kind of, you know, that's kind of where I had it. So as I sat and listened to Josh and some of the other people that were presenting at this conference, I realized I was leaving a lot of potential on the table. And so I decided to, as part of preparing for this presentation, I was going to also work on my own profile. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not completely done with all the changes that I wanted to make and stuff, but we'll talk about the stuff that's still going. So the first thing, LinkedIn is a professional connection place, right? Most of us have selfies or pictures of us, you know, with our kids or with our wives, or don't get me wrong, I love this picture. It's me and my son on top of Prairie Peak. It's a great picture. But it doesn't show my professional side as well as the other one does. So the first point is to use a professional profile picture. And when we say professional, we don't mean that it has to be taken by a professional photographer, although mine was at this conference. They had a photographer there that was doing profile shots for people. So, but, you know, dress up a little bit maybe, find a good background that's not too busy or cluttered. Don't make it look like a mugshot, you know, and have a professional looking picture there. The background banner picture, right now I still just have the blue, kind of the standard thing. You know, some of us have pictures of vacation spots that we went on and cool things like that. Those are great. Have it connect to your profession in some way. you know, if I had somebody back there take a picture of me presenting, you know, that would be a great thing to kind of put up there. You know, if you're—
Is that a hint? Do you want me to go back and take
no,
a picture of you?
no. If you're an account manager, you can have a picture of you, you know, taking your swing as you, you know, something. Just connect to your—
Finally, something useful.
Connect to your profession some way, and make it. You know, this is kind of the personal branding that, you know. And to that point, we're talking primarily about LinkedIn, but if you use other social media for professional purposes as well, be consistent across the platforms. So if you have one picture on LinkedIn, and you use Twitter also in your professional, you know, if you talk a lot about coding on Twitter and stuff, and you want to use that kind of as part of your brand, you use the same pictures across the board to kind of maintain the consistency, and so people can recognize where you are and who you are. Any thoughts on any questions? So that's the first thing. So super simple with phone cameras, as good as they are. It doesn't have to be anything big. Just kind of get a good professional looking shot. So here in my before and after, UX business analyst at STG. I think most profiles that I look at, there's something along those lines, right? Kind of your business title, maybe where you work, maybe not. That's a pretty common way for people to do it. Josh and some of the other personal branding people commented on how this is really a missed opportunity to start telling your story, get people to know you at kind of maybe a deeper level, and to make them curious. So one thing that was talked about a lot is using power statements. Is anybody familiar with what a power statement is? No? Wow, okay. So there's a couple of different types of power statements. Basically, a power statement is what you do, for who, and what they can expect to get out of it, right? So if you're a developer, I write the best code in the world for mid to large companies so that they can maximize their ROI, right? That's, you know, a lame one, but that's kind of how they work. That's how they work. You know, another person described it as who you are, what transformation you help people, and what the end result of that transformation would be. So, you know, I'm not, this is a work in progress still for me as well, but I love to help people and companies make progress and improve through training, process improvement, and software design. So
I've seen a lot of those out on LinkedIn, and personally, it seems I kind of ignore people that write that because I have no idea who they are or what they do, and it's like they're making me make extra steps to figure something out about them. So when I'm out, because I use LinkedIn to try and find people and so forth, when it's that to me is more nebulous than just your title, because I have no idea from that what you are. And so if I'm looking for, I mean, because you can talk about software design, it's like those to me are difficult.
Okay.
And it's just a personal opinion.
And that's a totally fair opinion. I think the reason that they kind of recommend these is to some people it gets you curious. Some people it turns.
Because I'm trying to find somebody, right. And so I'm not going to spend more time. And there's nothing. Yeah. That makes sense.
So some combination of the two would also work. You have, I don't remember I think there was 90 or 100, and I don't remember the character count, but you have a character count that you can work with. The goal there is to make people want to learn more about it, right? And it won't work with everybody. So you kind of have to.
You can find the best of both worlds and maybe put your title in your power statement. Yeah. I am a UX business analyst that does this and this for this. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay. So find what works for you. And in our industry, honestly, less nebulous may be better, right? If you're a Java developer, you may not want to talk about, you probably want to include Java. Like if that's your core, then you want to mention Java so that people know that's what you do. Any other comments? So then there's your bio. That's the next thing down as you go through, as you look at somebody's profile. So the before here was what a professional resume writer had helped me write a number of years ago. As far as for the kind of that first paragraph in your resume, right? And I had just copied it right into my bio and kind of left it there. The thing about this is here's your chance to really show who you are, things that you love about your job, about your career, things that you are passionate about, things that can help other people see some of your expertise, some of your passion beyond just the really cut and dry. Tell your story, and the comment that came out of several different presenters was be vulnerable. To me, that means be willing to not look perfect, be willing to show expertise by being vulnerable. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody. But you want to, you have the opportunity here to be more than just a single page, right? Your resume, I don't know, the recruiters, this may be old, but the single page resume still rules, I think. And so you kind of have to cram stuff in and weed stuff out, and you have more opportunity here to talk about who you are. This is also as consultants, as we, especially as STG consultants, this is our opportunity to help people. When the recruiters, when the account managers put us in front of somebody, I can almost guarantee every time I go do an interview as a consultant, I see a hit on my LinkedIn profile within a day or two, right? So they're going to go look at these. So if you talk about your consulting and the value that you can bring as a consultant, that helps build that here as well. So again, this is also a work in progress, and I'm refining it as I go, and this might be a good opportunity to have somebody that knows you well provide feedback and help you out there as well. Any questions, comments?
Comment. I will say on the recruiting side, when we looked at that's where I spent all my days on LinkedIn shopping.
Okay.
But when you see somebody who actually has written out more of their bio about what they're passionate about, what they're interested in, I'm way more inclined to connect and try to recruit that individual than the standard. You still need to see the technical capabilities, obviously, but when you actually list that out, then it's oh, I'm intrigued. You seem like you really love what you do. That's who I want to work with. Not somebody's this technical stuff, it's great. But they've actually taken the time to do it. So the difference there is pretty huge on really understanding the person. At least to this much, versus just the technical capabilities.
I agree with that 100%.
So and there's other places in LinkedIn to share those technical, right? I mean, they have features built in, and we'll talk about those. They have features built in that are designed to promote that technical aspect. So being more personal at this level can be helpful.
So the first part, like right here on the bio, the first part is where I put that power statement. I lead with that, whereas in the little subtitle under my picture is where I put my self-selected
title,
my roles that I think I am, not necessarily, or the things I most commonly do. What bothers me on that one, is when people just have, this is my job title at this place, because then it's repeated later in LinkedIn already tells me that later. Why did you type that for me? So I think my self-selected there kind of to help with that. Who are you and what are you? But like you said here on this, the 3 lines are shown by default. That's what I sneak in that power statement. So if they only see those first 3 lines, they're going to get that power statement, and then I move on to that what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Different ways to massage it all in there to meet as many needs as possible.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Great comment. Okay. Here's some other things that we talked about, and we'll contact information. This is a double-edged sword, right? Because you include your contact information, you start getting calls from recruiters that you may or may not want.
Don't do that.
But there is a bonus to getting calls from recruiters, is it opens your eyes to other opportunities, and you can always just say, hey, reach out to your account manager and say, hey, I just got a call about a position here. You guys got contact with them, right? And I've done that a number of times.
So you're encouraging us to look around and negotiating STG.
Stay with STG. STG's great.
This is the end of the.
We're done. No, I actually do leave I don't have any intention of going anywhere, but I do leave my profile set to I'm open to opportunities, because I like to know what's going on in the industry. If we're expected to show expertise in the industry, talking to recruiters and seeing what other people are looking for and that kind of stuff, that you can only benefit yourself from that. So I leave my contact information up there. And if you have to hunt, I'm assuming that you're less willing to hunt. Is that correct? Or do you just do it? Okay.
If everything looks really good, looks like good potential.
You'll go through the effort.
Want to connect with, and you'll find connections or however you go about it, and possibly.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
So I don't care if your email's out there or not. I'm still gonna reach out.
Still reach out.
Yeah.
Okay. Second one is grow your network. So this should be pretty easy for us as STG consultants. We go into new clients regularly, and we should be able to connect with the people that work at our clients. But you can move beyond that and start looking at people in the industry that maybe you don't know personally, but you may have a connection with through a friend, and ask for the introduction. And you can look for people that are maybe in the audience if we're looking for clients, or seeing companies that, it looks like it would be fun to work at this company. Let's go talk to the account managers and see and try and get them in there. Then there's the skills and endorsements, and this one comes into the kind of the technical thing. This one, it should be easy for developers and people, technical people. It's a little more difficult for people that need the soft skills. But putting Microsoft Word on your skills and endorsements isn't going to do it, right? You gotta put skills on there that are actually relevant to what you do. Microsoft Word should be kind of the baseline that.
Office has an IDE baked into it. We can develop it.
That's true. I've done some in Excel, but yeah. But you know, focus on the skills that can show your expertise. So if you're a Java developer, you know, talk about some of the I don't know. I know Maven and some of those things are
Spring,
yeah, you know, mention those, right? If you're a front end developer, UX, UI guy, kind of talk about doing user research and stuff like that, and this is your opportunity to show that technical expertise that you don't need to show in your bio. And on this one and on your recommendations, one of the things that they kind of really pounded in is be generous. If you're on LinkedIn, be generous to other people with your endorsements and with your recommendations. Kind of a good karma aspect to this. And then the recommendations is kind of the same thing. You can ask people for recommendations, but if you go out and you really loved working with somebody and you give them a recommendation, chances are they'll return the favor without you needing to ask. So be generous, go out there and be honest and give people those recommendations. So this is one of those places where I definitely have not done what I'm preaching yet, because I have like one recommendation that I gave, I think it was 11 years ago. So, you know,
appreciate it.
look for the opportunities. I didn't even know you yet, chick. So, but yeah, reach out and this is that place where the good karma really is kind of a real thing. And then the work experience, this one boils down to you have a lot more room, a lot more potential here than you do on a resume as well. So instead of just doing kind of the checklist bullet points of what you did for a company, talk about your experiences at the company, especially the positive ones. You know, I wouldn't go crazy negative with any of this, but talk about projects that you struggled with and that had good outcomes. Talk about, you know, tell those stories and talk about your expertise and overcoming problems, and that will get people looking and thinking about your expertise a little more as well.
Justus,
Yeah.
before we go on, we talk about growing your network. When I do that, I try and be strategic about that. Like if I get Mary Smith, who is a knitting expert who wants to connect, I didn't get that.
The ones I tend to ignore are the software technology group employees in India that reach out to you.
Yes. All the time.
Yeah. And I would be strategic. I would focus on those three areas that I kind of mentioned. You know, your potential clients, potential customers, people that you worked with in other companies, people that you know. But yeah, by all means, growing that network can only help. I think I read somewhere that 10,000 connections is the maximum number that LinkedIn allows. So good luck. So and then there's the other. How many of you use the activity, make posts and stuff on LinkedIn? Once in a while. Kyla probably does. I'm very once in a while, like once every couple of years. I don't post on Facebook that much either, but you know, that's kind of the thing. But the activity is a good way to work on strategically expanding your network and showing some of your consultant panache, if you will. So there's a right way and a wrong way to do activity on LinkedIn, of course. So memes, cat videos, that kind of stuff, keep those on Facebook or Twitter or wherever. Those are all great for whatever. Try to keep your LinkedIn activity to things that relate to your field, to relate to your expertise. I don't know, you probably can't read this one very well, and I just went and found one that I thought was really good. 5 resources I use as a front-end developer. These have significantly helped me. If you're new to the scene, they might help you as well. So they kind of go through, and it's a blog post at the back end, and there's a video attached to it. But sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise. I keep using that word, but I mean, really, that's what we're trying to show. That's what we're trying to share with people, right? And that's how we become trusted consultants at clients. Share that information and be, it doesn't all have to be your own content. It can be content that you're sharing from other people, but keep it related to you and to your stuff. Oh, another point, proofread your posts. Or have somebody else proofread your posts, maybe even, because, big glaring errors kind of sabotage that expertise a little bit. The other thing is comments are king. So if you're looking to expand your network, if you're looking to get connected with people that can use your skills or are like-minded, getting people to comment on your posts, get them seen by lots of other people, right? So if Chick, who's my first connection, comments, then everybody that's his first connection sees that comment and may see my post, right? Right. Whereas if I just post and nobody, then only my first connections see what I post, if then. So posting things that help generate comments, whether you're asking questions, whether you're just being, what's the word I'm looking for? Whether you're trying to be controversial and thought-provoking, those kinds of things can get more and more people to see you. And I don't know how long this part will be the case, but right now, if you've scrolled through the feed lately on LinkedIn, almost everything in the top of your feed is video. They're really big on video at LinkedIn headquarters, and so videos get promoted above almost everything else. So if you can or want to do video, that's a good way to get noticed as well. But that may change as time goes on. Questions, comments, rebuttals?
So one thing I'd say is if you don't follow, if you're like on Facebook, you're on Twitter, on LinkedIn, if you're not following STG, follow STG, especially if like on Facebook and Twitter, or wonderful Martha, she always puts some thought-provoking articles on there.
Yeah. And
you might even think, you're not thinking of your own articles, but you kind of see it like, hey, that is interesting. You go and read it, and if you can see it, if you're following them, then you can then just reshare that with a LinkedIn post, and hashtag whatever you want.
Yep. And there are lots of, I'm sure there are Java developers out there that are like well known in social media that that are kind of the thought leaders, and so sharing stuff that they put out, or interacting with them on LinkedIn, that kind of stuff. So that's the end of my slides. Anybody want to look at your profile?
Use mine.
Brian?
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Justus out to me to be the guinea pig.
That's right. I had a backup.
I already know there's a couple mistakes in here. I'm gonna see if you pick up on them or not.
Okay.
Ooh, it's 10.
Oh, man.
There's a quiz. Any dead animals? No. Not on LinkedIn.
All right. So,
Where's the beard?
where is the beard, Brian?
Maybe mine.
All right, so Brian has, if we kind of go back through our same process, Brian has a professional picture. A little bit like a mugshot, you know, but that's my personal opinion.
Can't see me holding a number.
So you got no banner, which I honestly think that this banner is better than a banner that's kind of out there, you know, or not useful, not relevant. CEO at Complete Programmer, Director of Practice Management at Software Technology Group, and Pluralsight author. Okay, so it's not a power statement, but it very definitely tells people what you do, right? It talks about you're obviously not a one-trick pony, right?
So I'll tell you an interesting thing about that line and why I was willing to. There's one thing you didn't talk about. If you add another job, so Complete Programmer, I don't even want to call it a side gig. It's a promotional site that I put together. But I am the CEO of it. That's not a falsified, but it's a company of one. When I listed that up there, the way that LinkedIn does their notifications, everybody thought I'd quit STG. I did not tell it to do that. I did not. I wasn't trying to broadcast that. I wasn't even trying to hint at that. I just wanted to list that, hey, by the way, I'm also doing this. And go back to your point of if you're diversifying yourself, diversify yourself. So I created this. It's a longer story that we won't go into. But I created this as a branding site, a Complete Programmer. And everyone thought I'd quit my job. Oh, moving on, huh? No, not at all.
I'm pretty sure LinkedIn has sent me, you know, congratulate Brian Hansen for 8 years at Pluralsight.
Yep. Guaranteed.
Type emails.
Yep, guaranteed.
So yeah, be aware of that as you are putting things out there.
You can cause some damage as well as do some good.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So I have a couple questions. What's the dot next to the picture, that green dot with the circle in there?
Are you premium?
Inside Messenger.
That's
Oh,
you
got
Okay,
Messenger.
and then what is the first, when it says Brian Hansen, that says first?
He's my first connection.
Oh, okay.
So we're, if Quinn, I wasn't linked with you, I would say second. Because Justus is linked with you, or Jen, or Troy, or Ron, or whoever else. So you'll see first, second, third.
Yeah. And that's a good way to find people to connect with, right? And get to know. So, let's see here. Okay, so Brian has his specialties listed at the first part of his in your bio.
I will say they're
right?
touch dated, but also if you can avoid throwing versions out there, if you version something, you have to stay on top of it. Now that can help and hurt you. You can throw Angular out there, and if it's more appealing to say Angular 6, you may want to put that out there. But if you're an Angular 2 or Angular JS, nobody cares anymore. So you can, I purposely have sanitized mine to where it's not labeling specific versions. Java EE6, Java EE7, Java certifications, 1.2, 1.4. I've steered clear of that on purpose.
And for developers, that's probably a lot more important than it is for recruiters, right? Your technologies don't expire as quickly as it does for developers. So Brian could talk about one option. I mean, this is fine, but you could start telling your story, you know, and talking about why you're passionate about all these things and why you love being the practice manager at STG and that kind of stuff. So, so I could endorse Brian right here for his agile methodologies. So Brian, that's all you have in your bio,
We're
right?
looking at the public version of it.
Okay.
If you go into the connected version, there's more. But yes, you are correct. That link is the public version, if I'm not mistaken.
How do I get to your?
Put the more button there.
More button, I think there next to message. And
Maybe.
No.
I definitely know that's not all the profile that I see. Maybe further down. No, I'll keep going. That's my experience. And
Okay. Yeah, this is your experience. This is kind of the resume reproduction here. So, so you know, he's talking about the things that he does here. He could talk about working with that troubled child, Justus, and how he mentored him or whatever, you know. But there's opportunities here to, and especially with Complete Programmer, you know, I don't know what there is there, but there's potential there. So I didn't talk about the education, but they kind of recommended doing the same thing with your education, talking about the things that you learned, telling your story as part of your education.
There's classes or disciplines, things that I learned that I would like to talk about in my computer science degree. Or if you did a master's with an emphasis in this, you know, this type of stuff, it would be great to have there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So skills and endorsements. You can see just kind of the top 3 that he's been endorsed for, and who has endorsed him. You can see lots of, and I'm glad I don't see, you know, Microsoft Word anywhere right there. But so as you think about it, you know, everybody in our industry is going to understand certain skills and certain endorsements. They're going to be universal, and some are going to be very specific to, you know, to Java developers. TDD, I have no idea what that is, right?
Yes, there it is.
Okay. So now I do.
And those 400 endorsements for it, don't know what they're even talking about.
And that's probably true, right? So that would be my thing, is I don't know if I would have used the acronym there, but
you know, that's an interesting thing, and I don't want to take you off in the weeds, but when the endorsement stuff first got rolled out, I really feel like LinkedIn did it wrong, because they have people like Jeff, you know, asking Jeff to endorse me on test-driven development or agile development or Scrum, you know, principles or whatever. We're connected. We're not connected that way. We're not in the same profession that he would know that I've worked in.
Right.
And so I really kind of wrote off the skills and endorsements section for a long time, because it was, I don't know, I didn't work with you. We weren't even connected on a job. We were just connected. And so to know that somebody was connected that was endorsable in that space seemed wrong.
and I think they fixed it.
Yeah,
But I do agree that if, you know, you'd get that email, hey, do you want to endorse these guys? And you just hit yes, 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 or whatever. And it was, so there probably is some
there's some
garbage data in here, but
by far and large, it's actually pretty good. I'm kind of surprised. This is the first time I've looked at it from a third person's perspective. You look at my profile and somebody I'm connected with from another you know, that's a good point. You may want to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Have somebody that you know and trust has kind of look through it with you and say, well, what does this mean? Or, you know, let's see. So recommendations is given 8 and received 8. See, and these are huge, you know, when, I don't know the last time I was asked for well, I do know, for a referral when you were applying to a job, right? That's kind of, for the most part, gone the way of the dinosaur. But I mean, these are the referrals that people ask for. And you can just point them here. Say, go look at my LinkedIn at all the recommendations that I've had from people. Sorry.
There is an awkward situation. So, you know, you receive a recommendation, the same person asks you, then it seems like you're, you know, it's not genuine.
It's not genuine.
It's genuine.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the best way to get recommendations, just, you said it earlier, those 8 that I've given is because people gave me a recommendation. And it was because I enjoyed working with them, they enjoyed working with me. And that sounds big-headed to say that they enjoyed working with me. But I didn't ask them to go give me a recommendation. Brandon Nichols, I was on a job with him. We just came out of a really intense meeting, architecture meeting, and he came out and just said, wrote me this recommendation. And honestly, it was one of the most heartfelt compliments I've ever received in my career. I really love working with this guy. This is just great. And I went and wrote him a review that was the same thing because I'm like, man, we connected on a different level. I didn't go ask him to write one. He just wrote one. I'm like, yeah, I agree. I wrote the same thing. And so I agree with you. If you write one and then immediately ask for something to give you one back.
I would honestly never ask.
I
would avoid that.
But I would just go write one.
But
I bet you if you wrote 20, you get 18 recommendations back. I would get 4 if you did. It's just, I think it's kind of
especially if they are genuine. If you're just out writing recommendations to get your own back, it will be, and people will know it and they'll sense it.
I know I could go out and write 20 recommendations like right now because I've been around people kind of have a backlog anyway. I think tonight. So
yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the last one I gave was like 11 years ago. So I have quite the backlog that I could work through. And I've worked with some fantastic people in that time. So, you know, and you're absolutely right. If somebody goes and asks for it, I'm going to be less genuine probably if they ask me to provide it. And people will be able to sense that. So my recommendation would be don't ask for them. Just if you feel like giving it to somebody, give it and let karma take care of the rest, or the universe take care of the rest.
So this is a funny one, and I don't think you can pull it up. I don't know that I probably want to shame this guy, but one of my connections gave me a recommendation, and I remember when you said it, when you brought it up. Copy and paste verbatim the exact same recommendation across 5 people.
Oh,
I mean, word for word. I've always been impressed with the wealth of knowledge that insert name here has mastered in his field while remaining good-hearted and well-natured. He can always put a smile on your face. That was a completely separate recommendation to this one. I've always been impressed with the wealth of knowledge Brian has mastered in his field while remaining fun-hearted and well-natured. He can always put a smile. It's word for word the exact same recommendation.
Yeah, don't do that.
doesn't that show up in your image?
Yeah.
It shows up in his given. So
So they would see that.
yeah, but if you don't look at his given, you have to see it. He gave the same recommendation for Carrie, me, Clint, Brett Bailey, Tim. But the thing is, I've never recommended the items.
So yeah, and then you know, publications. Those are probably all your Pluralsight courses. blog posts. I don't know if I'd put blog posts in your publications, but I would definitely link to your blog posts in your activity if you do professional blogging, that kind of stuff. So I think we're about out of time. Any final questions, thoughts? That would be my number one recommendation is don't let it get stale.
I have a thought. This is something that it rarely bites us, but be careful of. If dates on your LinkedIn profile do not match dates on your resume, that can deny you a background check. There are certain situations, and I don't know all the rules and regulations and stuff that goes behind it, but if you just go haphazard through your LinkedIn profile and say, I worked there May of 99 through June of 04, and it was April of 99 through July of 04, you can be denied a background check. Depends which level of security clearance you're going for. So make sure it matches. And that may seem innocent enough, a few weeks off, whatever, that you're just kind of guessing on dates. If you're going to list it on there, make sure that it's consistent.
If you're going to guess consistently.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So
I have seen that one by us.
Okay.
You know, you talked about the one-page resume. I actually still have both. I have a one-page high-level summary. I call it summary resume rather than my resume, and then my detailed resume. But I would refer people more to my LinkedIn profile than I would anything, because they're going to want to know about the company and what I did at that company and go look at what they're doing regardless. So.
Yeah. So don't let it go stale. Spend some time, review it, look through your profile, have somebody else look through your profile for you. There's opportunities, there's things here that can open doors that you might not otherwise even know exist.
So what's the advantage of, I think it's the
premium
versus
I honestly have never paid for premium, so I don't know. I know that you can see a lot more of the analytics about who's looking at your profile and stuff. But that's the only feature that I really.
It does that, and then for recruiters, you can drill into more info and message you 1 or 2 levels deeper.
Just with the free. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually even a step past premium that a couple of our recruiters have on the team. It's the professional license, and that digs even a little bit deeper. But basically, a whole bunch of different additional search tools and filters and unlimited searches to find people that connect or reach out to.
Gotcha.
Message. So.
You can only message with the free version. You can only message people with your connect.
That's right.
Yeah. So with the message
yeah, with both this and what I'm talking about, you can premium and some additional messaging. There are some limits on it. It's limited on like a monthly basis, a certain number of kind of like message credits. So a certain total number of messages you can send.
Short message in there.
Yeah, you can't spam the whole internet on LinkedIn. So to be judicious.
So, all right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a great day.